hold on. All right, y'all, we trying this one more again. Official, the Boss Up Unblock Your Business and Your Blessings, 100 years of wisdom from myself, Sister Sense, and my girl Pam Perry. Yay! We're celebrating our birthdays. I am the big 40. Let me bring that into the building right here. The big
Yes,
40.
yes. Well, the six. Oh, where is it? It's too
Pam is
big.
celebrating 60 years. We just got serenaded. I'm gonna see if I can get her to come on and serenade us one more again with that beautiful voice.
All right, I'm in the background. I'm 6 feet distancing. All right, all right. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. 100 years of wisdom coming live to you. Boom.
Hi.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
Dr.
it.
Portia be bringing it. She got the voice. She got the wit. Everything. She
Everything.
yes.
I
Yes.
love
She's been
it.
my BFF for about 30 years or so. Okay.
Oh my
At least
goodness.
30 years or so. So yeah,
Such
at
a
least half my
beautiful
life.
thing.
Oh my
Such
God.
a beautiful thing. I feel so blessed to be able to do this with you today. This is my sister from another mister right here.
It
May
really is.
26th twin.
Oh my God. Do you have your dog? Where's your puppy?
Prin is in the other room. Everybody's in. I am. We're seriously social distancing.
Listen, I realized that we both had white dogs.
I know, right? Is your dog a Maltese?
We both have white dogs. It's like we both have white dogs. We both have one kid. We both have one. If there were one thing I would do, LaShanda, I would probably, Aubrey would not be like, yeah, you need to. I would probably have another one. I really would. I really would.
Not at all. Not at all.
You're not going for that trick?
I'm going to see if I can cut the Xbox cord for all of 2 minutes. Hey, can you come here and bring the dog with you?
Yes. Pat, you're going
for like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. That's all I'm asking for. Okay. It's really not. It's really not. He's like 2 minutes. Oh my God, that's so long. I'm like, it's really not. You can give your mama some birthday love for 2 minutes.
I know. It is. And Aubrey's
Aubrey. Is she gonna come in? Is she coming in?
No, I don't know if she's gonna text her and see if she comes. Portia's here. She's my BFF, but we don't know about the daughter. Now she did
Mama.
She did
So here she is. Here's Miss Messy Face.
There he is. That's your cousin. They look like they are in need of a grooming. Like
this is what happens when they stay inside and can't go and get all the good stuff they need. Look at you. You're a hot mess. Do you know it's my birthday today, Prin?
And you know what? I say the same thing about Peppy, that he's a hot mess. We are so much alike. I mean, it's literally like.
Oh, and they both have P names. Peppy?
Yes.
Prin, princess.
Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. You know you're scaring me, right? It's like it's so much.
Just so much. How we think. So great mind.
We had Kim Coles on the cover, and then I realized that you all went to the same high school.
Yes, we both went to Brooklyn Tech.
I was like,
come here. I'm in a game. Come here. Just come give me some love. Just 2 seconds. Squeeze yourself in the video. Just 2 seconds. Okay, you're here. Just your hair in your face. Just your face and your hair. Okay, your game is not going anywhere.
It's going somewhere. It's really annoying.
You see, this is what happens when you have a teenager. Yeah, that's the baby. Here's the big baby. Can you say hi? Okay, here's the big baby. Let's see if I can get him to squeeze in.
Christopher, I remember when you were like running all under your mama, like she couldn't breathe. Okay, she couldn't breathe, and you were all under her. So how you are just like not coming around is just amazing to me. I can't believe it. You are just so cute.
Can we squeeze them in? Can we squeeze them in? Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right,
Yeah,
you can go away now. I know it's killing you. Take the dog. I
I
know
know.
it's killing you.
At
Take
that
it.
point, hey, listen, Aubrey
Yes.
is like, okay, mom, you're not gonna do a TikTok. You need to get off of TikTok.
We're gonna do a TikTok takeover. Forget the kids. We'll do it ourselves.
She was like, I'm a savage. And I was like, she's like, okay, you need more moves than that. Okay, you need to do like all the other stuff. I was like, I got savage. Give me
That's
some
it.
more.
That's it.
She's like, oh my
We
God.
go, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna do all the moves, all of it, all of it. Me and you, me and you.
That part I got. That part I love. I was like, I'm a savage. Okay, that
Y'all
part
are
I
in
like.
here wishing us happy birthday. Hey, Tashina.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Ty.
She
Welcome,
is on the
welcome.
back of the. There you go.
There, right? There goes Ty on the back of Speakers Magazine. That's the back. Here's the front. Woo, woo.
Oh my
Yo, we
God.
are going to have so much fun tonight because Pam and I are going to share Boss Up, Unblock Your Blessings, lessons learned between the two of us. Between the two of us, we've got 100 years right here. We've got a century's worth of wisdom. And we're super, super excited to share. So I'm going to have Pam kick things off because she's got
Okay.
6 and I've got 4, one for every decade. So I'm going to have her kick things off. And then we're gonna go from there. Hey DJ,
Yeah.
welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you. It is like 100 degrees in Michigan. This is crazy. This is
It's hot
okay.
here
That's why
too.
she turned it down. Okay, so I did a whole little blog post on Pam Perry PR about the things that I learned over the decades. So I'm from Detroit. I'm Motown. So the 60s was like, besides the riots, we had Motown. We had Dinah Ross and the Supremes, which is forever gonna be the diva that I try to aspire to be, right? And then you had the Temptations, you had the Four Tops, you had the Jackson Five, which was like they were all my boyfriends, right? During that time. So then I went through the 70s, went through the 80s, which basically was the Oprah era, right? So by that time, I'm out of college. I'm going to be Oprah, darn it. I'm going to be Hope, right? Because
Of
it's like
course.
I watched all of Oprah during my 20s. I'm in college. I'm in journalism. And that's who I want to be, right? I want to be the media mogul. Then the 90s hit. And of course, everything is cool for Black people. When did you come out of college, LaShanda?
It was, oh God, when did I come out of college? Okay, I went in 98, so '04. There we go.
So 94. So in the 90s, it was cool for Black people. We were doing it. We were doing everything. We had the first Black Miss America, Miss USA. We had the Miss Black Universe. We had the first Black in New York, the first Black governor. We had the first Black walk on the moon in the 90s. The 90s was like, we are doing the darn thing. Then Rodney King. Then we had, a whole lot of other little stuff going on in the 90s. And Black people were like, we got to stay woke. So 2000 came, new millennium, new hope, right? And then we had President Obama, 2008, which the internet hit on the scene. And he was grassrooting $5, $10 from everybody. And he
Right?
got elected, right? Because he was on MySpace, he was on Facebook, he was on LinkedIn. President Obama was doing the darn thing. So this is how it shaped my life, right? From the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to the millennium. So what I learned over the last 6 decades of my life was some of the things that really are about entrepreneurship, because I didn't really start my business, LaShanda, till I turned your age right now.
Oh wow.
I was 40. So by then, though, remember, it was just a big deal to be in corporate America. It was like you have to climb that corporate ladder. But at around 36 or so, I got married, I had a baby, and I was like, I really want to work from home. And no one was working from home at 40 in 2000. It's like, who works from home? Oh, you must not have a real business. It's like, you must not be doing, but I was like, I want to work at home because I have a child, and it's just so much to really figure out about having a child, having a business, and that sort of thing. So anyway, so what I really want to go over is like the 6 things I learned. So one of the first things is go with your gut. Go with your gut. Even though in 2000, when I started my business, even though in 2000, no one really had a business from home, I wanted to run a PR agency. And I read to my daughter, who's not here.
Write that down, y'all. Go with your gut. That's number one.
Go with your gut. I read to her in my journal when I was about 23, about 20 years old, what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was to own a PR firm. I didn't know anyone who owned any business. I didn't know anyone who owned any ad agencies that were African American. I just didn't. But I knew that I wanted to do that. And it could have been the Oprah influence. It could have been the Motown influence. Who knows what it was? But it was like, I wanted to do that. So go with your gut. It's like my secret sauce. When you sit still, you listen to the still small voice and you really like listen, and it will tell you what to do. Now, other people will chatter. Other people will tell you that's not how they do it. That's not normal, but go with your gut. That is by far the thing that's guiding you that makes you different. So that's number one. Being open
now,
to
what I want to do is I want us to go tag team and go back and forth together. So, but I love the fact that you talked about opening your own PR agency and doing it. You were doing things that other people were not doing, so you were not seeing it. Were you scared?
No, because no one. How are you gonna run a business from home when you got a kid? You just married.
Yeah.
Who works from home? The internet wasn't even really around. You couldn't even Google shit. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
not like it is now.
No, you can't Google anything. What is that about?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I know I can do it because I can use the phone. I have a computer. It was on dial-up. I did have a computer and I could do things. So some of my first clients were from out of state. They weren't even in my city, but I know that I could reach further. So that was just really knowing that when someone said ministry marketing solutions, and it rang with me, and it says, you're like going to be the marketing solution for ministries, because I had worked for corporate 7 years at the Salvation Army. And that's basically a ministry. It was a nonprofit, but it was a ministry. And I said, if I can just take my knowledge that I have about marketing, journalism, branding, and everything, and put it into African American churches, I think that will be a business. I didn't know how. I didn't even know anybody that was doing it. I didn't know a lot of stuff. So I didn't know.
But you know that the whole concept of walking by faith and not by sight, because even if you don't see it, you know, having the idea that it's something that you want to do. I feel you. And I love that. So make sure you write, hey, Letitia Nicole dropped it in there.
Oh,
First one. So go with
one of my favorite persons in the Bible is Peter. He walked on the water as well as Jesus. He was afraid and he began to sink. But I felt like I can relate to Peter so much, because it's like what you said, you just do it, right? Just do it. Just get out there and just do it. You'll be saved.
And you know, that is, for me, that's the biggest lesson. My mantra coming into entrepreneurship was the Nike, just do it.
Yes.
Just do it. You know, it's funny because I grew up as an introvert, and Geminis are really outspoken and talkative, but you know, we're sociable when we want to be. And then when we don't want to be, we're like hermits. We're like, don't call me, don't talk to me, leave me alone for a couple of months.
It's black or white, it's no gray.
And so when I grew up, not being a very vocal person, people just assumed I wouldn't do certain things. I wasn't very outspoken, so I was the shy girl, right? And then you have all of these things about how people perceive you and what your potential is based on what they don't see you doing. Right. And so even though I knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, as a little kid, I'd be like, Mom, can we go out and can we sell stuff? You know what I mean? I still was not an entrepreneur. I was entrepreneur in spirit, but not in reality. right?
Mhm.
And I kept telling myself, well, I can't do it by myself because I'm not smart enough, right? Or, I can't do it by myself because I need a mentor. I need somebody to guide me to start this process correctly. So I looked for mentors and that didn't work out. And I tried to start my business with partners and that didn't work out. And I came up with all the excuses in the world as how I didn't have enough money and I was a young girl and all this. And I said, you know what, LaShanda, just do it. There are 99 reasons why not to try. And the only best reason that you have is because you want to. You want to be an entrepreneur. You keep going around in circles and coming back to entrepreneurship. Just do it.
And you did it before a lot of people, quote unquote, really learned how to spell that word.
Right?
You did, because you were like, I'm going to do it. And I remember meeting you online. It had to be 20 years ago, if not 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was looking for people that looked like me. And I saw LaShanda, and it was Black Business Women Online.
Yep.
And I just felt like I've come home. I've come home.
Mm.
There's other Black women out here that are doing it. Now, there were other people out here that were doing stuff. There were other Caucasian people, but it was just something about seeing your own doing it.
Yeah.
And then we grow together, that we support each other, that we endorse each other, that we combine and do things together, because we have basically kind of like the same history. I talked about in my article on in the blog that I did, that it's a certain point in time where you realize, when you see other people doing what you're doing, that it becomes real to you.
Yes.
And when you see the Oprahs or that sort of thing, or even for me, one of the big things that was really shaped my life was the Cosby Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that
Yeah.
point,
Right.
I was
Right.
in college or probably graduated, maybe in college, I can't remember. But the Cosby Show came on the scene in the 80s, and I graduated in 83. So seeing Felicia Rashad as a lawyer, and not as no shade against Good Times, but I didn't really relate to Good Times, because I didn't want to say I grew up in the projects and I'm having a good time.
Mm.
Growing up in the projects is not a good time.
It
The
is not.
Cosby Show, a doctor and a lawyer, that is a good time. So that shaped my mind early in my 20s, coming out of college. So then I said I wanted to work with large white agencies. I wanted to see what they were doing. They were working on clients like Oscar Mayer or Nestle, whatever. And I can see bigger budgets. And it just opened my mind up to that. So when I ran into you, and it's like, okay, I am out here new doing this thing. I'm just off of MySpace, new to Facebook. And Ning was new. Ning was new, right? Not a lot of people even had Ning. And I found a Black Ning. I'm like, I'm all in. That's really
For me, I love the fact that you talked about that, because I started off and I wasn't seeing enough of us, right? So I created multiple shades of you online because I wanted to show, just as you talk about, there's good times, but there's a Cosby. I wanted to show that as Black people, there are multiple shades of us. We go through different experiences. They're not just one scenario. And when I was looking for Black girls and Black women, all I saw was triple X. And I was like, this is not what our representation needs to be. We need to change the story, right? So I said, let me put my little hand in it. Let me come on here.
Yep.
And then when I was seeing, we were saying things like, there's not enough of us. There's not enough of us. And I said, you know what? There are a lot of us. It's just that we are spread so thin, it's hard to see us. So creating the BBWO Black Business Women Network, for me, it was an opportunity for us to show that there is more of us then people see, and then they know, being in that space, I felt like we had to come together. And then you talk about being able to see Felicia Rashad and knowing that it's real. I started my first baby was my business, right? Started that in early 20s. And then I had my son when I was about 24. When I was pregnant with him, I read the Mocha Manual to a Fabulous Pregnancy, still sitting up on my bookshelf. And
was that by
Kimberly Seals Allers.
Yes, Kimberly Seals. Yes.
And she actually, funny enough, when you think about divine right timing. So I was pregnant, went to Barnes and Nobles. I said, I want to find a book by a Black woman talking about pregnancy. I found this book. And the chapter that hit me is one day when she was pregnant, she was sitting there thinking about her baby, her current kids. She's in the corporate world, and she says, I don't want to do this. I want to be home with my kids and I want to do my thing. And I decided to quit my job at the time and say, I'm going to do this full time. So, up until that point, for about 3, 4 years, I was the side hustle sister, still
Wow.
doing BBWO and websites and other things on the side. And then that's when I said, just do it. You want to be a work at home mom? Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to
And that
figure
was
out how to
something
make
that
this
you
work.
saw. That was
And
something that you saw.
because I saw Kimberly in that space that she said, she's an author, she's an entrepreneur, she's a mom, she transitioned from corporate. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. And fast forward, when I full steam ahead, built up BBWO, and now we're like close to 10,000 people, Kimberly becomes one of the members. And I get
Yeah.
to say to her, I read
Full
your book
circle. Full circle. Right.
when I was pregnant, and that inspired me to not just be a side hustle sister, but full-time entrepreneur. And that was just a beautiful thing. You never know what's going to happen, and for me, everything happens in divine right timing. So just do it, see where it goes, take that
That is
leap.
that is the thing. One of the things when I was working in corporate, I read a
Yeah.
book called How to Make a Living Without a Job. And it's for people who are multi-passionate. And because I was a creative, I could write, I could do newsletters, so writing. So one of the things is like being a PR agency, well, like, I can do that. So it is one book that kind of can catapult you to seeing yourself in that. Now, I will have to say that before I actually went into ministry marketing full time, I worked with my husband who also had a company, Perry Marketing Group. And he was really corporate, and he did automotive, and he did, just automotive. And you're from Detroit, so you got to do automotive. He worked with GM, Chrysler, and Ford, and he was doing the stuff that I felt was boring, I wasn't passionate about. But I worked with him just because I wanted to help him with the clients, but it wasn't what I was passionate about.
Wasn't your
So
thing.
yeah, it wasn't my thing. So I would bring in clients like, we got a new client. And it was like a gospel client. It was a pastor. It was an author. It was a speaker. And it was like, well, how's that going to work with this corporate stuff that we're doing? Because that was the world where he came from. So
Yeah.
eventually that business closed. It actually went bankrupt. And so in 1999, he was bankrupt. Business closed. I had quit my job. Our daughter was 3. And we're looking at each other like, what are we going to do? And as crazy as it sounds, he had no prospects for getting a job or even starting his business again. It was like God just spoke to me. It's time to really do what you have said you wanted to do, which was to do your PR firm. And Ministry Marketing Solutions was birthed from there. I talk about in my blog that how a potential client was walking down the hall one day and asked me what I did. And I said, I do PR for ministries. He says, well, I'm actually looking for a publicist to do PR for a gospel play that we're working on. Would you be interested in taking us on? That was the first client, and it really grew from there. From the standpoint that it went from there to working with TD Jakes. I mean, because that was the vision that I had eventually that what I wanted to do. But at a certain point in time, it's like, I don't know if I can really do this, but you just go with your gut. And when our business closed, he went bankrupt. I wasn't working at the time. I was working for him, and I was not getting a salary. It was like I was a PR director, but I was just not getting a salary. I was like in the company, but not really.
The family business.
Yeah, part of the business. And so when his business closed and then I had to open up mine, he had to really have faith in me to say, okay, you're going to make it work. And then he went to go work in the corporate world, which again, he worked on Ford because he's real comfortable with the automotive industry. And I worked with ministries. I worked with all the Christian publishers, all the Christian type of ministries, Word of Faith, Greater Grace, Straight Gate, all of the large mega ministries at that point in time. And it was like, really? This is what you're going to do? And we had a small baby. And so a lot of people say, well, I don't know if I should really work for myself because I need health insurance, or I need this, I need that. And so you can really talk yourself out of a whole bunch of stuff.
Man.
You can talk yourself out of a whole bunch of stuff, because when you really look at it, what's the worst that can happen? And that's what we would say. What's the worst that can, the worst that can happen is that we file bankruptcy. Well, we did that. So we were still alive, baby was still eating, it was like, what's the worst that can happen? And so just really follow your dreams and just be led. And that was really the main thing, just go with your gut. The other thing, number two, LaShanda, I don't know how long we're going to be. It's like, just be curious.
let's keep it rolling. But those little stories,
curious.
those stories are so priceless, though. But
Yes,
I hear you. Number two.
Curious. And I call it the ABCs. Be curious, meaning that don't just take something as face value. Dig deeper. And maybe that's from
Always be curious.
But just be curious, dig deeper, look further. And that comes from just learning about you, right? I learned about you from being curious, like who is LaShanda Henry and that sort of thing. And I grew to know you, like you, love you, right? And that's just from being curious. If I would say, oh, I'm just part of her membership program, or I'm just, I would have never known. We had the same birthday. We our first time we really met in person, remember, was at Blogalicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
yes,
we do a seminar together. And we did that. We did.
The next year, bam.
We did it. And it was like, it was one of those things where it's like, we need to meet and that sort of thing, and met your family, love your family. So I just said, just be curious. Don't just take someone at face value. Dig deeper, have a conversation with them, talk to them, learn about them. What is their mission? What motivates them? Be curious about people. And I always say this as a publicist, it's like, it's not all about you. Learn about the other people. What are they doing? And you will find a synergy there. And you will find a synergy, because if you think you're the only star on the block, you're going to stay the only star on the block. All right. And so you need to be curious about other people and just really care. Just care about other people, what they're doing, and that sort of thing. So that's
I love that, because, in business, we do ABC, always be closing, right? But another ABC is always be curious. Being in that space where you're like, how does this work? It's funny enough, I remember being in a place as a social introvert, as somebody who stays home a lot, a homebody. I'm like, I know a lot, but then how come people aren't asking me to speak at events, or how come people aren't asking me to do all these things? But some of that is you sitting in your house, baby. you gotta figure out how to do things. You gotta get curious. And talking to other people, finding out, hey, go to events. And I went to Blogalicious, met real people, then realized that
there, didn't you?
Doesn't come to you. You go to Blogalicious, you say, hey, let me pitch you on a session, and they go, okay, great, you can speak. But you don't know that unless you put yourself out there, right? So you got to be curious about how things work. Be curious and go out and talk to people. I feel like we did the cupcake. Was it Yolanda Dryer Buzz? She had like a cupcake lounge, right?
Yes.
And then is that picture that's on the cover? I don't think so. I know we've got a picture with you and me and
with us in that cupcake.
And the cupcake. And this one. And this one.
Yes, that was the one. That was the one where we actually went to that, and I had so much fun because I had seen Yolanda online for many, many years. But when she said, I'm going to have a private cupcake party, here it is. Have a private cupcake party, and we went. And we were like, okay. And she's so from Atlanta, you from the Carolinas, I'm from Detroit, and we all met up at was it Blogalicious?
The Blogalicious, Cupcake Suite. So you guys have to think about,
obviously, now it's like 2021. I guess we'll get back on the same with that. But yeah, it's amazing what was happening pre-COVID-19, how connections were really made.
You have to think about like where you want to go and who you want to meet, and reach out to them, like just reaching out to people and seeing what happens. I see that Salima says here that birthday Serenade was fire.
How about you, Portia?
Happy solar return, beautiful queen mamas. Thank you for all that you do. Wishing you abundant beauty, health, happiness, wealth, peace, lots of love. Thank you so much, Sister Salima. We appreciate you, my dear.
Who feels the energy of my BFF Portia? That is her all day. All day. Love, life, just that is her. She is like one of those people where you just have people that are around you for 30 years. Like, why is she around me? Why? Because she just brings it. She
The
really
energy, the synergy energy is there.
and you really, people say you get it from your mama. She got it from her mama. She got it from her mama. How long was your mama a choir director at the church? 50 years.
Wow. Come on now. Listen to that. Come on.
50
I love
years. It. Right. You get it from your mama. So that's one of the things. So the number
said, go with your gut.
Go with your gut.
Be curious.
Always be curious and be the brand.
Do it.
And be a brand.
I also believe that one of the things that you have to understand is you get what you ask for. You've got to be specific. I always say, like money, for example. People, I want to make money. I said, okay, well, technically speaking, if you made $1 today, you made money today. Did you want to make $1 or you wanted to make more? Be specific. Yes. You get what you ask for and you get what you're ready to receive. And I had to learn that. It took me a long time to learn that. I always said, I just want to be comfortable. My hubby said, look, I want to be a millionaire. You said you want to be comfortable. And comfortable was not comfortable. Good enough was not good enough. And you realize that when you don't have the abundance and the freedom and the flexibility to do what you want, just getting by is not how you want to live, right? Woo!
Okay. Did it? These are my 60 balloons.
Woo!
What's that commercial Geico? Is it sometimes okay? It's just not okay.
It's just not okay.
It's just not okay.
And so, number one is on one side, it's you get what you ask for. First, what are you guys specifically asking for in your life, in your business, where you want to feel that you are unblocked and blessed? That's number one. I had to get specific. I want a house. I want my car to be paid off. The things that I really wanted. I wanted to hit X amount revenue goal. And then also understanding you are going to get what you're ready to receive. Some people say, yeah, girl, I want 6 figures. Yeah, girl, I want to be a millionaire. But energetically, you're not positioning yourself correctly to get that thing because you're not ready to receive it.
That's
right?
True.
Money contradictions. I'm ready for 6 figures, but I don't want to charge $100 or $1,000. That's a contradiction. Right. You're right. So I really had to learn from charging $2 to being able to say it's $10,000, that there is real energetic wisdom behind you get what you ask for and you get what you're ready to receive.
That's it. One of my first business coaches told me that I need to be able to say that'll be $35,000. And that's it. Don't crack a smile, don't laugh, just know to say it. That'll be $35,000. And don't be the first one to say, but if you pay today, it'll be 20. If you pay by such and such, it'll be 10. He said, by the time you finish talking, you've left the session with like, but if I get 2 bus cars and such and such and such and such, because you don't believe it yourself. He says you need to be able to say it with yourself for real. Yes, and my first business coach taught me so much about really what to charge, because when you work a job, you know what your salary is.
Yeah.
But when you are an entrepreneur, you don't know really how to charge. It's a different mindset shift. And so when he told me, he says, you need to be able to say that'll be $35,000. That is really from one client for 1 year.
Wow.
That's it. Wow. That's it. Because you were making that much money doing it on a job for that person, right? So you can do it for 3 or 4 or 5 clients for this. So, he just really just taught me so much. And that was one of the ones that the last one, number 6, about having a coach, having a mentor, someone that really shares with you little secrets, and then also shows you yourself, like where you're blocking yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're saying like your husband said, you just want to be comfortable. No, we want to be more than just get by. We want to really go another level.
You know,
And
it's funny because I call him my in-house Dr. Phil. And you know, one of the things that we oftentimes as entrepreneurs will talk about is they give so and so such amount of money, and how come they not giving it to us? And they'll give that man or that other race or whatever. And one day, a simple question, because again, I always pit back my thoughts to him, right? I'm only getting X amount to do these packages and these services. Okay, well then who's the boss? Y'all remember that show, right? Who's the boss? You get what you ask for. Nobody's gonna give you 35,000 if you ain't asking for 35,000. They're not gonna give you 1,000 if you're not asking for 1,000. If all you're asking for is 10 and 20, or at most 100 or 200, that's what you're gonna get.
Because your customer will not say, you know what, that's not enough money. You need to charge more. They're not going to ever say that. Your customer and your client will never say, that's all. No, they're going to sign. They're like, where will I sign? How do I sign up? Right? It's like, she don't even know her own value, but I know it, and I'm going to sign up for it. So you have to know your own value and then just stick by it. And that's just one of the hardest lessons that I had, is stand firm on your fees. Stand firm on your fees. You can do a proposal, and then people, and you put your time and effort into the proposal, and then they will say, oh, okay, I love this proposal. You charge this amount of money. I'm going to give you less. Let's negotiate. No, we negotiate by me taking out some of the things I'm offering from the proposal. Then we negotiate, because what I offered is really the fair market value for that fee. I'm not trying to rip people off. I'm not trying to do all that, but this is the fair market value for that fee. Okay. And based on my experience and all of that, this is what it is. So if you want to negotiate because you don't have the money, then we're going to have to take away some things.
Take them out. Take them out.
So we'll take it out. That's it.
So your first 3, go with your gut. We had ABC, always be curious.
Mm-hmm. Stand for. Then we could kind of go to number 3. Stand firm on your fees. Okay. Stand firm on your fees. And the other one is really, really big, and I didn't really learn it until later in my career, was be your brand. And people talked about personal branding later in I guess in the 2000s and in 2010 or whatever, but be your brand. Your brand is your life, and it's the life of your business. It's like who you are, what you stand for, what it is that you provide in terms of service. Be the brand, and the brand is your reputation. It's your credibility. It is who every touch point of your business, whether it is your StreamYard, whether it's your Facebook, your Instagram, your email signature, whether it is your, you're sending out letters to people and it's the return address label. It's so many touch points about your brand that represents who you are. It's a totality of it. So when people say, oh, I like your brand. What do you mean? And it's like, is it just my picture? Because you can't tell nothing about the picture. Is it just my website? I wrote my website, but no, it's the totality of it. What people are saying about you when you leave the room, how they have experienced you. So Starbucks has a brand. What are people saying about Starbucks? What is it that they represent? So it is a totality of your character. And I just think it's your mission, your purpose. And before you even get into business, you have to kind of know your mission and purpose and what it is that you're representing before you really start building a brand. You can build a brand with a bunch of pretty pictures, but I'm telling you, a lot of these Instagram models or a lot of these Instagram famous people, if they don't have the character or the substance, it's going to fail, because eventually pictures are going to fade. I mean, I'm 60 years old. Okay. If I would have just built my brand based on pictures, eventually I'm going to be 70 in 10 years. What, it's like, what is it that you are representing? What are you bringing? What is it, your essence of who you are, your heart, your mission? It can't be just pretty pictures. It can't be, because
And
that's superficial.
what I love about that is you talked about Starbucks. One of the companies that I oftentimes talk about is Five Guys Burgers and Fries. And I say, you know what? They sell burgers and fries, and they have mastered that.
That's
And
it.
if
Mastery.
you want to establish a brand where you're doing 15 different things, please master those 15 different things, or just focus on two or one that really is an encompassing embodiment of the best of you. So I love that, be
Mhm.
your brand. Because it's funny when you said that, I said, oh, I need to go grab my brand. So, I go everywhere with my bag.
That's just so cute. I love it. I love it.
Bam.
Make it
She
she
believed
could
she
and she
could,
did.
and so she did. There you go.
Mhm.
And I said,
Mhm.
and folks be looking at me like, is that you on your purse? And
Yes,
I'm
it
like,
is.
it absolutely is.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be
You
me.
have to love your brand. You've got to love not just your picture, of course, but everything that you stand for.
The
Love
totality
it
of it.
more than anybody else because that's what sells. If you don't love your stuff, I love that I see my girl Ty here. And she said, you know what? I realized we've made so much money in our business just from referrals because she's established, Tashina Davis, Publish Your Gifts, an amazing brand, right?
Mhm.
I get
Mhm.
most of my stuff comes from referrals. I don't need to go and spend a lot of money to do ads because people just go, oh, you need to go LaShanda, right? They love the brand. And I think that is something that people have to understand. You want to sell, what sells you is how infectious you are when it comes to delivering the best. And then other people are going to want to tell their people about you because they want that feeling too, to be like, oh my God, thank you so much for sending Pam my way. She was so amazing, right? You don't get to work with folks like TD Jakes just because.
Right.
There's something that you got to bring and deliver. Be the
And they
brand.
they will investigate you. They will check you out. I tell this when I talk to a lot of young people about branding, because social media wasn't a thing, obviously, when I was in high school and college, but it is a thing now. So my daughter, when she was in high school, I said, you need to protect your brand. She was like, what the heck is that? I said, because people who are looking at you are potential people who are going to give you scholarships, people who will give you internships, people who will give you jobs. They're going to look at your brand. They're going to see what you put on the gram. They're going to see what you put on, LinkedIn or whatever. And you need to protect that brand. So yeah, if you can get out there and start putting stuff that gets a lot of yucks or a lot of like, ooh, baby, it may get attention of other people, but not of the people that you really want to get the attention of.
The
You
ideal
want to get the
people.
scholarships, you want to get the jobs and the internships. So yeah, so a lot of especially with young ladies, they will put out there, okay, they're looking like, wow, wow, I got it together, bam, bam, and it's like, but uh, how is that going to look for your job interview? How is that going to get you the internship at the White House? How is that going to really further you? It may get you a lot of yucks. It may get you a lot of likes, but in terms of your brand, really think about it. And I tell them, I said, I'm so glad that Instagram, Facebook wasn't around when I was in high school. Okay. Because I was doing some stupid shit. Okay. but today you got to be smarter than I
It's a
was.
different story. It's a
Yes.
different
So you
story.
can't be out there putting on YouTube some crazy stuff or tweeting crazy crap, because it stays there forever.
It
And so
does.
when someone
It
tries
does.
to investigate you, that's part of your brand. They're like, you know what? I looked at their such and such. I was going to hire them, but I saw something on their Twitter that really disturbed me. And they're not going to tell you why they didn't hire you. They will just know that they looked at something that you tweeted a while ago, and maybe it was racist, maybe it was sexist. I don't know, whatever it is,
Right.
but it changed their mind about you. And that
And
is,
it wasn't a good fit.
it wasn't a good fit. And I'm telling you, that's going to happen, because I'm telling you, any interns that I hire, I'm checking them out. And it's like, ooh,
Of
They're kind of
course.
crazy. I don't want them in
Now,
my I
for
want them
me,
like them. So it's like, no.
when I think about this amazing list that we're going through, for me, I would say my number three is that it will grow back. And
Mm,
I think about funny enough, we all have our shows that we absolutely love. One of my favorite shows is King of the Hill. And one of the characters is Bill. He cuts here for the army. And a younger character, Luann, she's going to take her beautician, get her license, and she's got to cut here. And he says, I know you're going to freak out, Luann. I know you're going to get scared when you're taking this test, but just remember, whatever you do, it will grow back.
okay.
It will grow back. And I think about that as a life lesson because we all have fear. And there are two ways to look at fear. You can FEAR, forget everything and run, or you can FEAR, face everything and rise. And at the end of the day, you just got to face it and rise because nothing really is going to me, at the end of the day, nothing's going to break you unless you want to be broken.
Mm.
You make a mistake, you learn from it, you keep moving. It's going to grow back. It'll mend itself, it'll repair itself. I would say at the end of the day, we just have to make sure that we're okay with that. Sometimes clients will come to me and they say that I want to find a way to start without making mistakes. I want to find a way to do it the right way. And
Well,
honestly, the right way is to start.
yeah, that's
The
the
right way
hardest
is
thing.
to start. I mean, because even if I give you my whole blueprint, it may not completely work out for you the way it worked out for me. You just have to be okay with the fact that you will make mistakes. You just have to face it. It will grow back. You will not lose, but they say it's not a win or lose, but a win or learn. You'll always learn. Every mistake is a learning lesson.
And it's kind of like very similar to my number 4, I guess. Don't be embarrassed.
Mm.
Well, you can't be embarrassed. It's like you're taking too much of the spotlight and putting it all on you. Don't be afraid to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
All are going to get embarrassed. I mean, I remember Oprah did her Live Your Life Tour 2020 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And she stumbled and she fell, I think. It's not the first time anybody ever stumbled and fell. Okay. That didn't mortify her. It didn't make her stop being Oprah or whatever. But she felt that same way 20 years ago, that she's not going to be embarrassed. Okay. She could be out there speaking and her slip falls, or she went to go get a perm and her hair was like, fell out, or what. She's not going to be embarrassed. So you can't.
You remember when Michael Jackson's hair burned off? You remember?
Yes. Pepsi, the Pepsi commercial. Yes.
I mean,
What's her name?
sometimes we be on live with 3 people and we'll freak out because somebody said something or we did something on a live. You did a live and you made a mistake. It was 3 people on a damn live. It wasn't 3 million.
Or what about that? The Super Bowl? Portia just said. Dr. Portia just said Janet Jackson did her thing on the Super Bowl, and it was a wardrobe malfunction. Did Janet go and sit down and never returned? She kept it going.
And she's making billions.
Still making. I mean, she's 55 years old, and if it hadn't been for COVID-19, she would be on tour right now. So she did not get embarrassed that, oops, I had a wardrobe malfunction. So I would say you can't get embarrassed. Learn to laugh at yourself, keep it moving.
Yes.
That is just it's so part of that. It's like, I remember one time having an interview and people were saying, oh, you have something in your teeth. It's like, oh, hold on. Let me get a mirror and take it out. That's like, okay, I'm not going to get it out by not taking it out. I got to get it. And it's like.
And you just say, hey, I'm human. Things happen. You laugh about it.
It's human. Slip or fall, things will happen. Eyelash will fall off. I got on my magnetic lashes. They may fall. They may fall off. They may still hang on. I don't know. We gonna see. But if it does fall off, I'm good. It's just a magnetic lash. Okay.
I think sometimes to the point, especially women, I know women of color, sometimes don't want to do live, don't want to speak, don't want to do audio, don't want to get in front of the camera because of this. If I screw up, if I make a mistake, I'm so embarrassed. And it's like, don't do that. You know, you've got to actually work through that. I mean, I worked through, you know, in the very beginning, I didn't even want to put my picture up on. I had an avatar for a very long time.
I remember.
I had to work through all of those growing pains. I didn't want to get on the phone. And I get that. But at the end of the day, we have to understand. And one of my favorite quotes is, your next level begins where your comfort level ends. In order to get to where you need to be, you're going to have to work out your little issues, because the bigger issue is you getting to where you want to be in life and in business. In order to do that, you just got to go through it, right?
And so with you turning 40, it's like at a certain point in time, it's like, you know what? I've been there, done that. It didn't kill me.
It didn't kill me.
At this point, it's like, you know what? Who gives a flying? Because it's like, I'm good either way. I made it to 60. Okay. So it's like at certain point in times, the older we get, the more we realize it's not about us. We have these gifts and talents and skills that we need to share with the world, and we need to do that. It's like Miles Monroe always talks about, is making sure that at the end of your life that you do not have these gifts that are never shared. You don't want to be the graveyard, the richest place in the world. You want to be able to give your gifts and share them out with the world. And so you got to get over it. You got to get over it.
As you say that, I think about an anecdote that Charvette Mitchell, she shared. I went and I did a speaking engagement at one of her events, her pop-up in VA. And she shared the story of looking at young people versus older people. And she said, you know, when you ask a young person about their life, they think about and they talk about all the things that they want to do. And then when you ask an elderly person about their life, they think about and they talk about all the things that they didn't get to do. And you don't want to get to that point in your life where you're full of regret, right? No, and you're looking back at all that time that you didn't do what you want to do. And one of my favorite quotes is, don't live the same year 75 years and call it a life.
Ooh, that is so good.
The same thing, the same old thing. That's not a life, right? Got to make the mistakes. You got to just kind of go through it and do it, and know that whether you win or lost or win or learned, or, you know, however it turned out, you know, you did it and you tried it. No regrets.
No regrets. That is one of the things that I never want to be able to say, that I wish I would have. I wish I would have, could have. And even in my 40s, even in my 40s, I was like, I wish I would have, could. No, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I want to be able to be the person that I tried, didn't work out, but I made a pivot. Okay. So I made a pivot and I did something else. And so
as Kim Cole said, she said, pivot on purpose.
Pivot on purpose. That is so true. And just knowing that one of the things too is making sure, LaShanda. So the last thing that I'm going to is always be curious, brand your life, stand on your feet, have mentors and get a coach. That's one of the main things. And just knowing that have mentors and get a coach. It's one of the main things is have mentors and get a coach. You can't ever, even at me, I have coaches. All right. When you want to laser in on certain things that you want to learn. I mean, shoot, I just saw somebody that had a course on like how to be a TikTok expert. Now, I don't really want to be a TikTok expert, but I do want to learn TikTok a little bit better, because my daughter goes, you need to use TikTok and tell a story. I said, oh. She says, so you just can't be you TikToking and doing a dance. Oh, so you need to tell a story. And so that kind of like went in my mind, like, that's what we need to do anyway in our business, is to tell a story. It just can't be just you just dancing. It needs to tell a story. So she had a lot of wisdom in that. And even though she's 23 years old, I'm like, I need to listen to her coaching in terms of that. So never be too big to have a coach or to have a mentor, even at 60 years old, because you do, and it's probably going to be someone younger than you, even though you can get wisdom from a mentor, but have a coach, someone probably younger than you, is really, really important. And I just think that's so it's humbling, but then also you would go further faster. Think
Oh,
about
yeah.
Oprah. Oprah doesn't know how to do all the stuff online because she's 65, 66 years old. She has people around her that are showing her how to do this stuff, right?
Mhm.
So that I just say that's one of the main things that you really need to do is just to have a mentor. I remember one of the things that they mentors and coaches help you level up. One of the things that my mentor taught me a long time ago is says, Pam, he says, I need you to quit trying to sell to broke folk. And I'm like, what do you mean? He says, you want to help everybody. You want to help the homeless people. You want to help the people that don't have any money. He says, you will be out of business in 3 months if you try to sell to broke folk. And he was all in my face and he was really hurting my feelings. But you know what? He was right. It's like, you can't sell to broke folk because if you want to be in business, you can't sell to broke folk.
Yep.
Because they got to pay you. And how are you going to stay in business? So anyway, those are just some of the things that you learn by having a mentor and having a coach and really understanding that I've got to invest in that.
Yes.
I've got to invest in that. I can't just have someone, oh, like I have people call me up and say, oh, I want you to be my mentor. Okay. So I just going to take 2 or 3, 4 hours out of my week to just mentor you for no, like, why? Like,
And what's great about that is understanding when I talked about how you have to get specific, because you also got to look for people in specific areas that you know that they can support you and they're gifted in that. Right?
mhm.
There's something that you need, and that particular coach is somebody who can help you really maximize that and get what you need out of the experience.
Right. And the thing too, if I'm not the person that can mentor you, you should be able to, and I always say this, and people of color, that we refer someone else that can mentor them. I'm not the person, but I know someone else that you need to go to LaShanda for this. You need to go to Taisha for this. You need to go to this person if you want to get a storyteller. We should all, and this is just me from a 60s baby, we should all know African Americans that are excellent in what they do and refer
Yes,
them along the way to help build their
absolutely.
business. It comes back.
Absolutely.
It comes
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, Tashin is gifted at what she does, and she's got her own publishing company. You are a rock star at PR. Kim Coles is always talking about captivating and sharing your storytelling gifts. Epic April is amazing at domination and creating communities on the Facebook platform. We know individuals who are really gifted at what they do. And so, as opposed to you saying, yeah, I'm going to take all your money because I'm going to coach you in all this stuff, you direct people to the right people. And I think that's the best way to go. That's definitely key. I agree with that.
So we're talking
Absolutely.
about mentoring and coaching and how we have invested in people. And some of the people that we mentor and coach the most are closest to us, which is our children, right? They should be our first person that we coach and mentor. So Aubrey is going to just jump on and say, she's just going to say hi.
Hey, beautiful.
Of course, she's the one that's teaching me about the TikTok. She says, Mom, would you say it needs to be a story? Right? Can you say that? Yeah. So anyway, so she's
And
she's
it's funny because in our areas of gifts and talents, we're good. And then we get on these young people platforms and be like, Lord, what are we what am I
like,
supposed to do here?
like, you need to stay off of TikTok. I'm not getting on TikTok with you. Now we did do a savage challenge. We tried. I thought I did pretty good. But anyway, she said I did a savage challenge and she said I did pretty
You
good. So she had to
you
show.
sexy,
I
you
said,
better than me because I see you did the turn the light off one. All three of y'all did that one. It came out cute.
that took so
What is
long.
that one?
What
Turn off the
was
light.
that one, Aubrey, with the
Flick
turn the
it.
light out? Oh my God. That was like, and it's almost like in terms of these new platforms, you got to be like a video editor. I'm like, what the heck? Really? I'm like,
For
I'm
real.
just
For
like
real.
trying to just get on the phone. And now I've got to like be a video producer. It's like, what is this? What is this? So I love learning. And that's one of the things
Yes.
from being a publicist, being evolving into this, like the speakers magazine and all of that. It's like I have to learn stuff new because I get bored with it. If I'm bored with
Absolutely.
it, like I need to learn something new. I need to do
Gotta
something
keep it
new to keep
fresh.
it
You
fresh.
gotta keep it fresh. So I know for me, my last one, my fourth one at the end of the day is the only way you fail is if you quit. There's no other way to fail at unblocking your blessings, at building your best business. There's no other way because at the end of the day, 99.9% of the things that we go, that was a failure, that was a bomb, that was a big deal. That was just life.
Mm-hmm.
It was just life.
Yeah.
Life is
So
not
it's a lesson
perfect.
you have to learn.
It's a lesson. It's, I mean, being in a place where we go, oh, that offer thing, that sale, that thing didn't work out. As entrepreneurs, we fail 9 times and then we go, yes, that worked. Yes. And then we try to rinse and repeat that. It's just about understanding that it's not you and it's not something that you're missing. At the end of the day, how you master your craft is you just keep on going. You keep on producing, you keep on testing, and that consistency gets you to the place where you want to be. Funny enough, I was recently, like, I've followed her, I've seen her, Tabitha Brown. She does
Oh, I
vegan
like
cooking.
yes.
And I've seen her pop in and out of things, and then all of a sudden, she was on Kim Cole's Captivating Conversations. She was speaking as part of that as well. And it's like now she made this. I love the six popped up. She made this recipe video that went viral on all these social media platforms about how to make carrot strips that taste like bacon, right?
Right.
Which, and it's blown up, and she's gotten booked on this and that and all this stuff.
She was in the New York Times.
Yes, and I watched a little clip of her talk about that, and she said, you know what, I've been doing this for a while, and she said, I've arrived. Like, after 20 years, she feels like at
20
this point
years.
she's arrived now, and she's just dedicated. She's been doing it for a very, very long time. And so I
Mhm.
just felt like her story was inspiring to me. Just divine energy, being able to be blessed, and you were speaking as part of that as well, to be able to speak on things with so many amazing women. I just think that we wouldn't be able to be here if we didn't step on our faith and step on our own damn toes and make the mistakes and just keep going, even when we didn't see it, things working out the way we wanted it to. We just keep going. So
She
that
was
would be
not,
number one for me. The only way you can fail is if you quit.
and she was not embarrassed about if stuff didn't work out.
No.
She was like, I'm gonna keep going. She wasn't worried about it. She was having fun while she was doing it. She was really enjoying it, and she was learning from it. And if things get really tough, you get a mentor, you get a coach. But the thing about Tabitha is that she was like 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, follow her on, if you don't follow her, guys, on Instagram. She had that cute little video. It was maybe like a week or two ago, and she was like, I'm in the New York Times.
She was in the New York Times. She had
So
made,
great.
she was real. And the thing about it is that she will be no different now today, since she's been in New York Times, than she was 3 years ago, because she was just authentically her. And
Yeah.
and that's the thing about be authentically you, be who you are. Who LaShanda Henry is who LaShanda is. I met 20 years ago. Just leveled up. And who Pam Perry is who she was 20 years ago, just leveled up. We just learn different things that we apply and that we add. But the whole point of it is that we are here, we're not going anywhere, and we know our gifts, we know our purpose, and we're just trying to share them out with the world.
That's it.
And part of it is that our families are intact. We got a dog, we got a kid, we got a husband. Hey, all right, Pep. All right, the dog is going crazy. And you try to keep it together. And there's good and bad days. Like COVID-19 hit, a lot of things changed. I mean, last weekend you were supposed to be in
Myrtle Beach. Well, I'm supposed to be in Myrtle Beach, sipping on something on somebody's beach, eating my crab legs for my birthday. But
right. And then this weekend
you make it work.
We're supposed to be in New Orleans. Remember?
Right. We're supposed to do New Orleans for our birthday, and I was supposed to be in Vegas for Epic April. But hey, this is where we're supposed to be right here, right now. This is actually where we're supposed
Stuff
to be.
happens, and you roll with it.
Yeah,
and you keep going with it. We'll be in New Orleans, probably, I think it's the end of, it's rescheduled to LaShanda for the end of a Power Up Summit for the end of July. No, end of August, beginning of September. End of
Gotcha.
August, beginning of September. So I'll kind of let you know about that. But the Power Up
Yeah.
Summit is just rescheduled. So things happen, bump in the road, you reschedule, you keep it rolling, and you don't get embarrassed. You just learn from it. And I just think that, we just keep it
You
going.
keep going. You keep
Mhm.
moving forward, right? You keep moving forward. So
Mhm.
drop them. Bless them 6 words of wisdom on them. Drop your 6. I'll drop my 4, and we'll let y'all leave for tonight.
Okay, so my 6. I'll go back in my 6. I did it on pamperrypr.com. It's on my blog. So my first one was, the main one was go with
Go
your
with
gut.
your guts.
And then number 2 was always be curious, the ABC. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed about anything. Don't be embarrassed. So what? You stumble, get up. Brand your life. Know that the totality of who you are is your brand. Stand firm on your feet. Don't let anyone make you less than what your value is. And then number 6 is uh, have mentors and get a coach. That's so important. It's so important to have mentors and get a coach. I really do believe that that will change the directions of your life. You really will.
Absolutely. For
Mhm.
me, at the end of the day, there are going to be a lot of reasons why you say no, but you got to try because you definitely want to. So, number 1, just do it. Number 2,
Yeah.
you get what you ask for and what you're ready to receive. So, get your ASK, get your ask in gear, get clear, get specific so that you can get where you want to be. That's number 2. Number 3, it will grow back. It will grow back. You'll make a mistake, no worry about it. It will grow back.
Mhm.
Number 4, the only way you can fail is if you quit. So don't quit. Keep at it, keep going, keep powering through, and you will see what you want. You'll get to your best you, whatever that is supposed to be. Honestly, my mama always said to me, God helps those who help themselves. So I
Themselves.
continue to help myself and help others
That's
and
it.
just
I remember my grandma
energetically
used to say something,
come
LaShanda. She used
together.
to say, my grandma used to say something like, God bless a child that has his own. And for the
Hmm.
longest, I thought that was a scripture. I didn't realize it was a Billie Holiday song. But she just told me that you need to have your own. That's why I felt such a strong thing to really have my own.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was like what she was saying. I mean, she was a housekeeper. I mean, she did day work. She didn't graduate from college. She didn't graduate from high school.
Mm.
She just said, God bless the child that has his own. It's like, what does that mean? It's like, is that in the Bible? I don't know. But it's just something that resonated with me. And it wasn't until I saw Mahogany later on that I was like, there's a Billie Holiday song. But it's
You
something
know,
because it got to have my own. It's like no matter what. Even she was saying, like, even in a marriage, you should have your
you
own.
do. You
You
do
should have your
absolutely
own.
in a partner. You something that you know, no matter what, right? It's funny because I recall people, sending messages and freaking out with all the stuff that's going on, and people are losing their jobs, and people are, am I going to get this check? And I said, look, I need to just keep doing what I need to do to take care of me and my family, and that's where I am. That's where I am. Because
Mhm.
number 1, she would always tell me that God helps those who help themselves. And number 2, my mama would always say, at the end of the day, God ain't going to give you no more than you can bear.
That's
When I felt like I was going to break and lose it, no, you can bear it. He's not going to give you more than you can bear, baby. So if you still here, that means you can bear it.
that's it. You just
You
gotta
good?
woman up.
Yep, woman up, right? And you good to go. You good to
Right.
go. And I'm like, okay, if you say so.
That's it. That's it.
If
We
you
will
say
do it.
so.
That is so
Mm,
true. We have powerful ancestors
yes.
that we are their wildest dreams. And we just have to know that looking at our history, that even though these times are tough, there's some really horrible things that happened today in the news. 2 things. One, a guy in Minneapolis, he was killed, George
Mm,
Floyd. And then the other one was a hysterical white woman who was calling police on a guy who was bird watching. I mean,
yeah.
so we just know that we come from really, really strong people, and we just have to keep fighting for that. Never let anyone feel less, make us feel less, because we're really a strong people. Think about all we've endured over the centuries, that we are a strong people. And then when you know your history, you will feel really, you won't feel like giving up, because you know that I can survive this and I can thrive.
As you say that, I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember it quite as it is, but there's a quote that essentially says that our backs have written stories that no books have the spines to carry. We have the strength in us that has yet to be written the way it's supposed to be written, because they can't write it. If they really wrote it,
they couldn't carry
if they really wrote it, as you say, we come from strong people. You just got to embrace that, and just not so much take the challenges with a grain of salt, but just know that you'll be able to bear through it, right?
And I
get
think
exactly
the next season for people of African American descent is to really have a bigger connection with the Africa continent, to really do business with those from the continent, from the motherland. And I think that's will be the next phase for us, doing things in the United States. We're learning it, but just, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, those different countries where we can actually do business with them. I think thinking more global,
making deeper international connections.
Yes, with our African ancestors.
I definitely agree. And I'm seeing more of our amazing ladies transition and move internationally and go to, Halona's in Vietnam. I've got, the Blackberry Beauty. She's in Ghana. She just moved there a few months ago. So,
What?
I mean, we live in the States, and I remember
in Nigeria.
Shout out to Dr. Venus, because now she's on Amazon Prime. Her Hot Millionaire Mess. Did you see that?
Hot Mess Millionaire.
Hot Mess Millionaire. She's on Amazon Prime, and she took quite a few ladies to Dubai to do some work there as well. And I know that you've worked with her as well. I mean, just going to do some big things and go to different places.
It is.
That's what we got to do.
It's our time. It really is.
It is. It is. And I know that Tabitha said something about shouting out an Instagram account. I'm not sure if it was Tabitha Brown, but you guys can search for her, Tabitha, Tabitha Brown. And then, of course, following Pam Perry on all of her amazing platforms. Pam.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. This has been good. I have had.
Well, let them know. Let them know how to follow you. Pam Perry PR.
PamPerryPR.com. Go to PamPerryPR.com. Pam Perry on Twitter. Pam Perry PR on Facebook. So that's it. That's it.
There you go.
I got TikTok, but you all don't want to see that yet.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. What's you doing? Doing a savage dance. Come on now.
I'm like, oh my God. I was like, okay. I was like, let's go. She was like, you got to do more than just dance on TikTok. I'm like, I love dancing. That gives me energy. She's like, no, but it needs to be a story. So anyway, I'm Pam Perry 3 if you want to follow me, but don't do it yet. I'm still learning.
I'm on there, but I have all of one video of just me and my avatar state.
Well, I'll go all out in there. I'm on Snapchat. I'm like the only one that's probably 60 years old that's on Snapchat and Snap.
You've always been a leader.
I'm snapping.
Baby boomers to be like, you better get your behind on these platforms. You better make this stuff work. If I can do it, you can do it too. No excuses.
Exactly. I'm up on Snapchat. So you can find Pam Perry PR on Snapchat. I'm up there snapping. And none of my friends are like, what is that? I'm like, girl, please.
Listen, I'm not even going to lie. I remember Instagram and I was like, what is it? Chat, snap. I'm not going. I'm not doing it. And Pam came out to I did a Power Circle conference. And she was like, you better get your behind on Instagram. And I created an Instagram account because of Pam. And it sat there for about a year. But I was Sister Sense on Instagram because this lady right here said, you better get your behind on Instagram.
And when I
If
get
the
up
young
on it, they
people
be
are
like,
using
my
it,
family's calling me Instagram Pam. They were like, she is up on Instagram. She is Instagram and everything. I'm like, yep, till I figure it out. But when I think about it, so I'm 60. So by the time someone is 20, right? They're 20 and they're Instagram influencer. I'm 40 years older than them. I said, you know what? If I was 20 today and Instagram had been around, oh, it would have been y'all wouldn't have had a chance.
they ain't ready.
In there.
They
I
ain't
was
ready.
like, okay, so you 23 and you Instagramming. Okay, I'm 60, but I'm doing a little bit. But you know what? 20, I probably would have been out there on Instagram doing like that. Yeah, I probably would have. Because the body, when you have a baby and all that kind of stuff, and it's gonna go. So yeah, I would have been Instagramming at 23.
Well, I have
Follow Aubrey
truly.
Perry. Follow Aubrey Mariah. What's it? Aubrey Mariah or Aubrey 14. I don't know what it is. Anyway, she up on Instagram. She's trying to be an influencer.
We follow you and we'll find her.
200 likes,
I'm
right?
sure.
I'm like, oh my God. Okay, 200 likes. You only got 1,000 people following you. Like, really? Okay.
Wow.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, it's all
I
about
love it. I have truly enjoyed this session with you, Pam, my dear.
Yes, this
This
has been
has been
fun.
wonderful. And
This,
then I get to hug on you and love on you, and we go to New Orleans.
yes.
As soon as that happens, we're gonna make this thing happen and
In the
actually get to see each other when we get out of this quarantine situation.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. Even everything. I mean, this is like these are nails that are like the snap-on nails, right? I got these on. It's like
You're too funny.
Aubrey's like, you really gonna wear them? I'm like, this is snap-on nails. Because they ain't doing no nails up in here in Michigan, right? It's like, nope. Oh Lord.
No,
So
we do what we gotta do. We make it work.
We make it work. And we are not complaining because it could be worse, right?
It
So
could.
it's
It
like
could.
I'm
Today's a good day. Today's a blessed birthday. 40
Yeah.
y'all. Let me bring the balloons back in so y'all can see it one more again. I'm 40, y'all.
That is so cute. Oh my God, LaShanda, I'm feeling. Look at this. Look at that baby. Oh my
What
God.
year does that say? Does it have the year on it? Oh my goodness.
2013.
Oh my God, 7 years ago.
That was
Wow.
2013.
Wow, Sister Sense Magazine. Woo,
You
woo.
had them hoop earrings on still. We still wearing the hoops.
You know I still got my hoops on. Wait. You got to put it back up there. Put the cover back up so I can do a screenshot. We got Speakers Magazine right here. Sister Sense Magazine. That's how the Geminis be doing it, y'all. We print it. We think it. We print it. We make that money.
That's it. That's it. We really do. We think it and we do it. That first one, when you sent me today and you text me, you said, my first one is just do it. I said, I know that's right. We gonna do it.
We gonna do it and we gonna make it happen.
And don't get embarrassed about any of this. I mean, the whole point of it is that it doesn't really, really matter in the bigger scheme of things. You just have to bring your gift.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your gift and make it happen. Sandra, thank you so much for the happy birthdays. Y'all are so awesome. Thank you, John. I see here Lavon. Thank y'all. Y'all are just so awesome here. Thank you so much for popping on.
She's gonna say bye. No, she ain't gonna say bye. Okay, she's like, everybody leaving us a child, and she's like, I'm gone. Where's my 6? Right. My things are the Aubrey got these because you can't even go to the store because Michigan. It's like she had to order these online on the app.
Oh wow!
And then she had to call, and then they had to come out and bring them to her.
Wow!
That was like
that's love. That's love. Yeah, the I was supposed to be eating my all-you-can-eat snow crabs in Myrtle Beach, but my hubby bought me some crabs today.
Okay, well
He bought me some crab legs. He said, "Okay, here you go. I know you wanted your crab legs, so we still make it work."
Yeah, and you can go to Myrtle Beach when it's wintertime where you are, and it'll be better. So, So yeah. Okay. These things are going crazy. All right.
Doggone balloons getting all over the place.
All right. Well, I will talk with you later. Thank you. You have a good rest of the birthday.
You too, my
I
dear.
love you, LaShanda. All right.
I
We'll
love
see
you
you
too,
soon.
Pam. I
All
love y'all. Say thank you for joining. Take care. Mwah.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.